feels like you're going to the top of this mountain, everything's going just so well, and you get to this peak of pleasure and then boom anymore. Everyone's stuck in this doing. And most people that are stuck in this doing don't actually want to be doing what they're doing. We would all be in this one house, under the one roof, and my dad was in one room, my mum was in another room. I was on my bed watching probably some gaming YouTube video at the time. When you start looking, like, why isn't many other people in this aisle? Why is everyone off in the other aisles? What's going on, becomers? Welcome. Remember, start living for who you can become, not for who you are. When you live for who you can become, you become more of who you are. In today's video, we're going to be speaking about the 3 main drugs that you don't know that you're taking, or at least that you may not know that you're taking right now. Now, maybe you agree with all of these, maybe you disagree with all of these, maybe you agree with some, disagree with some. Either way, it's okay to disagree. Isn't it okay to disagree? But the ones that you do disagree with me on, I encourage you to just rethink it and reevaluate it in your own head. Think about it a little bit deeper, because the changes in your life that you're seeking will come from challenging your own beliefs. That being said, let's get into it. And actually, before we get into it, I want to start off by saying, when I'm coaching people, I love to ask them this one question. I say, are you using these drugs as a walking stick, or are you using these drugs as a vehicle? Because if you're using it as the vehicle, then you're saying, this is the way, this is the only way, and I'm going to do this for the rest of my life. This is the answer. But if you're using it just for a walking stick, you're saying to yourself, okay, I'm just going to use this just for now, just for the short term, and then eventually I'm going to taper off. So that's just an important question to ask yourself before we get going. Now, the first drug that you might not know that you're taking is, I was going to say it's the most common one, but I'm not sure actually if it's the most common one. So the first drug that you might not know that you're taking right now is alcohol. Now, I believe that you started off drinking, I started off drinking because of this, and it's because we saw our parents do it. We saw our parents do it, and it was like, especially my parents' generation, who are about 60 years old, they're born in the 50s, 60s, and it was the normal thing for them. Like, drinking was so big back then. It's still big now. It's a growing thing, actually. But more and more people are becoming aware that it's just not good for your health. And because we saw our parents do it, because it was a habit in them, well, we pick up as children, we pick up on our parents' habits from a very, very young age. So if you had a parent who was drinking consistently, and drinking entered your life, well, it's probably because you saw your parent do it, so you're like, oh yeah, that's like a normal thing to do, because you don't have anything else to compare it to, right? And now another reason I think that people start getting into drinking is because you just think it's cool. You see your friends do it, you see movies do it, you see movies portray alcohol and even cigarettes as this cool thing to do. And you're like, well, I want to be cool, so I'm going to do this cool thing. But what alcohol feels like is, it feels like you're going to the top of this mountain, everything's going just so well, and you get to this peak of pleasure, and then boom, you come down and you crash down. And you start sleeping crap, you wake up and you don't want to do anything, you have a hangover, and it's like 10 hours of your life that you've lost every single week, and it really adds up. Now, when my sister had her 21st birthday party, I saw something very interesting. I was on the inside of the house and I was looking out, and people couldn't see in the windows, but I was looking outside. And I noticed something very interesting with all of the people who were drinking wine, drinking beer and all that they were all walking and trying to find someone to talk to. Like, they were all engaged in conversation. And if they weren't engaged in a conversation, they were looking for a conversation to be engaged in. And I remember when I was drinking that many deep conversations, as deep as it got back then when I was drinking, because it gets a lot deeper when you actually come off substances, the conversation. But anyway, you feel like that it's really deep, that connection that you have with that person when you're on that same substance with them. Connection. That's what people are seeking. We're humans. That's part of our condition. We love connection. But again, it comes back to that, are you using it as the walking stick or the vehicle? Because people are like, because when you have those first couple drinks, you feel like you let your guard down, you can relax, you can be yourself for the first time, you don't have to worry about anything that's happened in the day, and you can just enjoy yourself, right? But the dangerous thing with that is you're tying enjoyment, relaxing, not worrying about the past, you're tying these feelings, these emotions that you want, and these are good emotions to want, right? You want to be relaxed, you want to be enjoying life, but you're tying these emotions to the drug. And so then what that does in the brain is it forms this connection. It's called neuroassociations. And the brain says, oh yeah, it's time to relax, so you have to have this drink. Oh yeah, it's time to have fun now, it's time to drink. And it's always like, in order to have the enjoyment, you have to drink. In order to relax, you have to have the drink. But the trick here is that you don't need the substance to relax. It's like such an obvious secret. And that's where it gets dangerous. And that's why alcohol is one of the most dangerous drugs that you might not know, that your parents might not know, that your friends might not know that they're taking right now. And yeah, I get really worked up about these things, as you can see. And I think that's for a good reason as well, because I think humanity, you as an individual, need to go on this path of being sober. And why I speak so passionately about this in my YouTube videos and this community that I'm building on the side as well, why I speak so passionately about this is because I know how good this feels to be on the other side. And I've heard of millions of other people talk about their sobriety and how great it feels, and how you start moving more towards your purpose in life when you start to become sober. So anyway, I just thought I'd put that cherry on the top. So let's get into the second drug that you might not know that you're taking, and I believe this one is probably the biggest one right now out of the three that we're going to talk about in this video. And that is the screen. Now, the screen is a funny one because most people don't actually realize that it's killing them. Like, when you're on your screen, do you truly feel like you're living? I don't think so. I feel like you're dying when you're on your screen. And I know I'm filming this on my phone and you're watching this on your phone. And as I've said in previous videos, there's a difference between watching things for entertainment versus education. And I hope that I can bring the education part to you. Now, when I was 17, 18, 19, living in my parents' house, we would all be in this one house, under the one roof. And my dad was in one room, my mum was in another room watching television. I was on my bed watching probably some gaming YouTube video at the time, and my sister was in her room watching something. So here we were in one house, under one roof, one family, all in separate rooms, all because of a screen. And so ironically, what the screen was actually made for, it was meant to connect us, and I believe it can connect us. But what we've ended up using it for is pleasure and entertainment and comparison. We don't want to actually better our lives, we want to compare our lives when we're watching things now. And it's just crazy to me that for so long I was like, I'm not talking to you now and I'm being like, how do you not know this? Like, and I'm like the guru and I know everything. Like, I was like this for so long, and occasionally I still am. I fall into these little pockets, but I'm okay if I use my phone for like 10% entertainment and 90% education. I'm okay with that. But the less, the better. And by the way, you might be like, wow, he's done so much research on screens, but like, I don't research screens or anything. This is just purely from observation. And it's amazing how much you will become aware of when you start coming away from these things. It becomes so blatantly obvious. On the television, when you watch TV programs, they'll have the program and then they'll have an advert. But how long does the advert go for? Usually 2 to 3 minutes. And it's enough time to grab a quick snack or go to the toilet quickly, and then you have to get right back there. And so what the television is doing is it's keeping you coming back, it's keeping you hooked. And really what you're doing on the television is you're watching other people's lives. You're watching other people live their life while you're sitting down to die. And it sounds tough, but it's just a tough truth that you have to face in your life if you want to change it and go toward a more purposeful life and start becoming more aware in your own mind. Now, the third drug that you might not know that you're taking is, and this might be a little bit of a controversial one because I've gone back and forth a little bit with this one in my own head. And sometimes I take this, it's probably like once every few weeks. And that is coffee. Coffee. Now, my partner would disagree with me on this because she loves her coffee, drinks it every day. And to me, what it did to me was it made me very agitated. My sleep got worse and I got more emotional about things that I wasn't usually emotional toward. And I just felt really rushed in the day. And the other day I saw this video of Jerry Seinfeld. I have no idea why Jerry Seinfeld popped up on my phone, but he just did. And he was on some talk show and he was talking about coffee and he was like, you know, the best part of my day is lining up in that coffee line, drinking that first sip of coffee, and it's just the greatest. And everything else in the day after that just sucks. And just like the alcohol, coffee, if you're only looking forward to one thing in your life, you set yourself up for an unfulfilling life. It's a line from my first book right there. Great product placement, right? And again, another quote in the book, it says, treat yourself. You've earned it, is most people's downfall. Because that's how most people are living, right? They're living this 9-to-5 job, which kind of goes like this throughout the week: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then, yes, it's Friday, I can drink. And then Friday morning, and Saturday I can drink, and Saturday morning, and then Sunday comes and the next day's work, so you have to go back downhill again. And then you go into work, and then Monday morning, coffee. Oh yes, coffee, I need coffee to wake me up. And I love how Terence McKenna, he has this quote that says, coffee isn't bad in the fact that it will kill you, but a life revolved around coffee is not the best, because you're still relying on something in order to be someone or to feel a certain way, right? You know those people who wake up and they're like, oh, I haven't woken up yet until I have my coffee. And then they have their coffee and they get this burst of energy, and then midday, oh yeah, I need that another coffee, that second coffee. And they're just constantly relying on things. And there's another line in the book, I probably have said that a few times now in this video, but there's a lot of lines in my book, okay? But there's another line in the book that says, it's not wise to rely on anything society glorifies. Because isn't that interesting? Isn't it funny and not funny, ha ha, funny, that society glorifies alcohol, how society glorifies phones and screens and television, how society glorifies coffee. And that's really what I wanted from this video, is to just get you thinking a little bit differently. And again, you don't have to agree or disagree, but just take it as you please. My whole objective, my whole vision with these YouTube videos and the community that I'm building on the side is to just start lifting the veils that and the stories that you've been telling yourself, the beliefs that you've had. The last thing that I'll say about coffee is it's something Terence McKenna says as well. He says that it's fascinating how businesses call it a coffee break. Like when you're at your work, they don't just call it a break, it's a coffee break. You have to go get coffee, because coffee keeps you in this doing state. You want to just do things. And when you have that coffee, I've had coffee before, you don't really mind what you're doing because you're just really happy doing anything. But the fact of the matter is, when you stop drinking the coffee, you start realizing that, oh, maybe I don't want to be doing this. Like, is there something else that I can do? And that's where you start asking these more, as we've spoken about in a previous video, these more empowering questions and these more curious questions. Because with curious questions, they bring you more intriguing answers. With empowering questions, they bring you more empowering answers. So it's just little things to start asking yourself and just start being aware of and start observing in your life. Now, a little bonus one I want to give you after alcohol, screens, and coffee. And by the way, let me know in the comments if you think there are anything else, or if you disagree or agree with these. I'm very curious to see what you have to say, because these are drugs that are very prevalent in society right now, and I believe that things need to change. So the fourth and final one, the little bonus here, is food. Now, I want to start off by saying I'm not a food expert. I don't claim to be. I'm not even an alcohol expert, a screen expert, or a coffee expert. Again, these are just observations that I've made just from coming away from these things. Okay, so calm down. But food. Now, I just want to tell one little story about food. Now, it's very interesting how when you walk, I say it's very interesting a lot because things are very interesting when you start observing the world around you with a different eye. When you walk into the supermarket and one of the aisles is literally titled health food, has it ever occurred to you that, wait, if this is the health food aisle, then what does that make everything else? I don't know, it's just a very interesting thing to consider, and it's even more interesting when you start looking, like, why isn't many other people in this aisle? Why is everyone off in the other aisles? But I don't think it's people's fault. Again, it's just what we've been, like the alcohol, like the screens, it's what we kind of been brought up with, and what is so prevalent now. It's rife, it's going through humanity so much more than ever, and you're a part of it. But the great news is that when you're a part of something and you recognize that you're a part of something, you can start to become a part of something else, another movement. And that's the movement that I'm hopefully taking you on through this YouTube channel. Now, I want to finish off the video by saying, with these drugs, society is trying to get you to blur your vision. Society wants to blur your vision with alcohol, with screens. These things blur your vision. The second thing society wants you to do, or wants you to feel, is it wants you to feel this narrow vision. So society wants you to think very narrowly. It doesn't really want you to see outside the norms, right? Coffee keeps you very focused. It's like you can do whatever job as long as it's just the job that you're meant to be doing at the job that you're at, right? Even alcohol, it blurs your vision, but also speaking goal-orientated wise, alcohol doesn't want you to see the big picture either. You get home from work, most people, they sit down on the couch and they start drinking their beer. And that's like the day for them. They never think about anything else that they could possibly do. It's like they limit their potential so much to this narrow tunnel when there's so much more of the world to go and explore. The third thing that society wants you to do is it wants you to keep your speed up. It wants you to keep going fast. If you look at everyone, like the roads are more packed than ever. Everyone's just, well, actually the road is not going that fast because there's so much traffic, but everyone's just constantly moving, constantly going places. No one has time to be anymore. Everyone's stuck in this doing. And most people that are stuck in this doing don't actually want to be doing what they're doing. And so alcohol, it messes things around up here. It keeps things like very unclear. Coffee, it keeps things ticking over really quickly in here. The screens, they keep you stimulated up here. They keep you ticking. Maybe YouTube even bans this video. Maybe society comes onto YouTube and bans this video. But either way, it's okay. But so this is what society wants. Now I want to end the video by saying this is what I want this channel to do for you. And not only this channel, but this community that I've mentioned a couple times in this video, this community that I'm building on the side, which is going to start very soon. And this book over here that's going to be released very soon. I'll keep you guys updated on this, but this is what I want all of these things to do. The first thing I want these things to do is I want them to not blur your vision, but to clear your vision. I want you to be able to see what is right in front of you and see if it's actually what you want to be doing, and see if it's actually, if you're being who you want to be. The second thing that I want this channel to do for you is I want it to make you not just focused, but I want it to make you aware. I want to make you more aware of your whole situation in life, and show you that there are more possibilities, that you're not quite, and I'm the same, that we're all not living up to our potential, but it's time you start actually recognizing that you have a lot of potential. The third thing I want this channel to do for you is I want it to slow you down. I want you to just, when you watch these videos and if you enter the community, when you read the book, I just want them to slow you down. I just want these things to slow you down, just so that you can get a bit more time to be and really have these things sink into you. And because, like one of my mentors says, everyone's trying to get somewhere really quick. Everyone's trying to win the race, but there's actually no race to win. It's like it says in my book, you get out of the race when you slow down, because you're actually not competing against anyone. You're just trying to be the best. You're trying to be the best version of yourself. And a lot of people, to try and do that, what they're doing is they're running around trying to get to everything quick. But the trick is to slow down, gain direction before you speed up. That's the trick in life. Or at least that's one of the tricks in life. Now guys, thank you so much, so much for the support lately on these YouTube videos. I've been enjoying them so much, and currently when I'm filming this video, I'm on 100, or I should say we're on 115 subscribers. And I don't just see that 115 because I tell a couple people, oh yeah, I have 115 subscribers, like my partner, I'll say, I have 115 subscribers now. And it seems like not much at all. But when you put 115 people in front of you, and that's really what I see these numbers as, I know that you are people behind watching these videos, not just numbers. When you put 115 people in front of you, it's quite a lot. So I'm very blessed, and I hope these videos are finding you at the right time and that you're extracting at least one thing from each of these videos, and that's all that I really want when I watch a video. I'm like, if I can get one thing from it and then take it and implement it into my life, or helps me become more aware of something, then I think the video has done the job. Hopefully my videos do that for you. Thank you so, so much. As always, remember, be kind, be caring, be courageous. Make your very existence an act of rebellion against society and start moving into the person that you are meant to be. Start pursuing your purpose. I will be here for you all the way. Hope you have a wonderful day. Be kind, be caring, be courageous, and I'll see you on the next video. Lots of love.